Alright, so here it is. I'm finally finished with the first version of my Sound Reactive LED controller. So today I'll be showing the new modes that I added to it since the last time I talked about it. And if you're interested in getting one, I'm planning to start selling these in just a few weeks. And when I do begin selling them, I'll create another video that talks about everything you need to know about it. But like I said, today I'll just be showing the new modes that I added. But let's do a quick rundown of some of the features first. And like I said, I'll go into more detail later. But anyway, there's two different versions. There's the mini version, which just has a microphone input, which is what I'm using right now. And there's also a larger version that also has a line input. And you can select between either the microphone or the line input. Now, as far as controls go, it's extremely simple. There's only a single knob, control knob, and there's also a button. The larger version also has an additional knob to control the gain, but that's really only useful when using the line input. When using the microphone, you don't really need it, which is why the mini version only has one knob. Now, as far as compatibility goes with LED strips, it's compatible with all addressable LED strips. That includes the strips that just have a single data line, and also the strips that have a clock and data line. It's also compatible with both 12 volts and 5-volt strips. You can even run both at the same time as long as they're the same voltage. Now, like I said, I'll be going into more details later, but let's go through the modes right now. Alright, so let's begin by going to the most basic modes first, which I've already shown before. And you can switch modes simply by tapping the button. So this is the most basic mode, which just shows a static color. And you can use the control knob to choose the color. So all the primary colors are here and some mixtures of them. So here's white, and as I turn the knob, it goes to purple, then transitions to blue, turquoise, green, yellow, orange, and red. All right, pretty straightforward. Now the next mode is also a static color, but it only turns on when it hears sound. So you can see it's only turning on when I speak. And again, you can change the color. So here's blue, here's orange, and so on. All right, here's the next mode where things start to get a little more interesting. So this is a dynamic setting, which the color that it shows is entirely dependent on the frequencies that it's picking up. So, you know, if you had, let's say, if you were playing an instrument that doesn't have a ton of dynamics, let's say like a bass or I believe flutes are an instrument that are very pure tones. Um, you would see this light remain static if the player was just playing a single note. The color would more or less remain static. But for people's voices, like when speaking normally, the frequencies fluctuate. So the system is displaying the strongest or the dominant frequency. Of course, you know, guitar especially is so dynamic. There's a ton of frequencies being created. But again, it's only going to pick up the strongest frequency. So, oh, also the control knob, since the colors are dependent on the frequency, the control knob doesn't control the color. What the control knob does is it controls the sensitivity when it's in this setting. So here I turn the sensitivity all the way down, and as you can see, it's not nearly bouncing all over the place like it was before. Then if I turn the sensitivity up a little, so this is roughly in the middle, it's a lot more reactive and dynamic. And back to, this is where I had it at the beginning. This is like the most dynamic setting. All right, so let's go to the next mode. Now, I've shown this mode before with the psychedelic pie video, but as you can see, this is really taking advantage of the addressable LED strip. And you can see how, this would be perfect with music. Um, in fact, I'll be playing guitar later in the video, but for now, let's just go through the modes and explain them. And the control knob for this setting, the control knob controls the speed. So here you can see this is blazing fast. Again, this would be great for really fast music. Then if I turn the sensitivity, this is about halfway. You can see it slowed down, but it's still a moderate pace. And then here's turtle speed, all the way down. Yeah, it's really slow, but it's cool how you can, you know, kind of play with it. It's sort of like being a DJ except with lights. But you'll see here in a minute, I have a mode that sort of is automated also. Okay, but anyway, so let's go to the next mode. This is basically the same thing except it goes in reverse. So the lights start on the far end and come this way. Also, I know I'll be going through more details in the next video, but in case you're interested, this will work with strips up to 512 LEDs. And of course, you can run strips in parallel as well. Um, the reason why it's only 512 is because that another feature of this system is that it's extremely low power. I mean, it only uses a few milliamps, which is drastically less than any other sound reactive LED controller. And there's not many on the market. So this by far has the lowest power consumption, which makes it perfect for battery powered devices. So that's why when I begin selling kits, I'll also be selling kits that are geared towards well, they contain a regulator and charging board, so you can connect it to a battery and charge it, and it's it like I said, this system is really meant for battery-powered devices, but there's nothing stopping you from connecting it to a power supply and long strips like I did here. Okay, anyway, let's go through the rest of the modes. So here's the next mode. So this is kind of similar, but it starts from the middle now, and it spreads out to the ends. And again, the sensitivity controls the speed. Or if I can make it really slow again. All right? And the next mode is similar, but it starts from the ends and comes to the middle. So, those are the new modes that I added, and the last mode cycles through all the modes that take advantage of the addressable features. This next mode will automatically cycle through them. So I'll just keep talking and see. You'll see the mode will automatically change on its own. Okay, so see, it just changed. And again, I can control the speed. So not only does this control the speed of how fast the lights move, but it also controls how fast it switches between the modes. So, sorry, I keep looking this way because I have the screen. Like I'm looking at the strip from the screen, in case you were wondering. But yeah. So again, this system is perfect for music. So let's say you own a small music venue or you own a bar that has live performers. Well, this is a perfect, it's affordable. Unlike if you go to a big venue that has all those fancy lights that move around, those are expensive, like beyond any reasonable price, I think. So that's part of the motivation why I made my own. And like I said, I also wanted one that's suitable for battery powered devices. But yeah, this is going to be way more affordable than those. And like I said, perfect for small music venues. Um, so with that said, like I've said already, I'll be making another video with more details on its features and specs. But I'm going to close out today's video by just jamming around on the guitar. And for today's demo, I'm going to be playing on this new Squier Jazzmaster that I just recently got. Well, it's new for me. I bought it used for $340, and it even came with a hard shell case. To be honest, the case is kind of beat up, but the guitar itself is in excellent condition. So if you're looking to buy a guitar, I highly recommend checking out the used market, since it's definitely a buyer's market right now. But anyway, I'll be playing everything today on my Parallel Overdrive, which you can buy on my website. This is a custom designed pedal that features 2 channels. One channel is more of an American style amp sound, while the other channel has a more British style sound. So I'll be having that on throughout today's demo, and I'll also be using some other pedals as well. Also, something else I should quickly point out is that I'm using the microphone today, and if you know about recording and microphones, you'll know that mic placement makes a huge difference. So the fact that the unit is sitting here with the microphone pointing straight up, it's not really going to reflect what's actually coming out of the amp. Another issue with using guitar is that once the guitar goes through overdrives or distortion and the amp, those things really bring out the high frequencies. The high frequencies become more dominant. So what you'll notice when using the microphone and it's picking up electric guitar, the lights are going to reflect more of the higher frequencies, like white and purple, and it's not going to pick up the lower frequencies as much. So what I suggest doing, which I'll be doing in other videos some more, and this is what I've done in my previous videos, is I split the signal from the guitar. One signal goes straight into the line input, and the other signal goes through the effects in the amp. So that's what I recommend doing if you plan to use this with guitar, is to use the line input. But today I'll be just using the microphone. So like I said, the colors probably won't be as all over the place. You're probably going to see mostly white and purple. But anyway, here we go.